right, welcome back to ABA exam review and the continuation of our RBT exam practice series with another set of questions that we're going to go through together. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Please like and subscribe. Check out btexamreview.com for all of our study materials, including our combo pack. When you pass, let us know so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. Let's get going. Gordon's daughter will put stickers and other items in her mouth when she is tired. When she does this, Gordon will yell at her to stop immediately, which causes his daughter to laugh and put another sticker in her mouth. Gordon's yelling is likely functioning as what? So looking at Gordon's yelling, and Gordon's yelling is a consequence, because Gordon is yelling following his daughter putting stickers in her mouth. And what do we know about consequences? Well, consequences affect future behavior. We don't look at the topography of the consequence. We look at its effect on the behavior in order to label that consequence. So never just assume yelling is punishment or reinforcement or praise is punishment or reinforcement. You've got to look at how the behavior is affected. In this case, Gordon yells at his daughter to stop immediately. What does the daughter do? She laughs and puts another sticker in her mouth. So has Gordon decreased the sticker behavior? No. If anything, he's maintained it or even increased it. So if Gordon is maintaining or increasing the behavior, then yelling is going to be reinforcement. Now, is Gordon adding or taking something away? Well, the yelling is the stimulus being added to the environment, making it positive. So Gordon's yelling is really functioning as A, positive reinforcement. B, positive punishment. Yelling is positive because it's being added, but it isn't decreasing the stickers in the mouth behavior, so it can't be punishment. C and D are both negative, meaning the consequence was something removed from the environment, but Gordon yelled, meaning the yelling was added, so it can't be negative. So the only option here has to be A, positive reinforcement. A team of behavior technicians are given a message that a new behavior plan will start on Monday. The team is told that they will need to start taking momentary time sampling data along with duration data. What do the members of the team need to make sure they do in response to this message? All right, this is more of a in practice preparing for session question. And so pretend you're a member of this team, and what do you need to do in response to the message that you have a new behavior plan on Monday? And whenever you get a new plan, the first thing is always make sure you understand everything about the plan. You should never implement something you don't understand. Second, they need to take momentary time sampling data and duration data, meaning you need to be prepared to take this type of data. Both of these involve precise timing, and they're two different types of timing data. One is discontinuous, one is continuous. So the team, and you're pretending you're on the team, need to be prepared to take this type of data. So what should members of the team do? A, inform the stakeholders of the change in the behavior plan. Is that your responsibility as the technician? It's not. Unless you're explicitly told to inform the stakeholders of changes, that is not your responsibility. RBTs primarily implement and collect data. If you're told to do something, that's different, but it is not your job to tell the stakeholders of the change. B, ensure that they are prepared and equipped to collect data when they arrive at session. Yes, you have to go through that plan, make sure you understand the plan, how to implement it, and you have to understand how to take this type of data. Do you know how to take momentary time sampling? Do you know how to take duration? Do you have the resources you need? If you don't, those things need to be figured out before session, not during session. So B looks pretty good. We read all of our answer choices. C, review the behavior plan first and then make any changes that they believe are necessary. Should you, as the technician, make changes to the behavior plan on your own? Of course not. Can you collaborate with your supervisor? Absolutely. But you can't just take this plan that was changed, this new plan, and start making changes on your own. Again, that is not your role. And then D, the technician should approach session exactly as they did before. Well, of course not. You can't approach session exactly the same. You have a brand new behavior plan, different type of data collection. Day to day is almost never going to be the same because you're working with humans, and humans are always changing, we're constantly evolving. So very rarely, if ever, should you approach session exactly the same day in and day out. You always have to be aware of what's changed. In this case, how do you respond to the message? Well, you've got to ensure you're prepared and equipped to collect data when you arrive at session. Consider the following session note. Today, the client greeted me when I arrived at the house. I talked with stakeholders for 5 to 10 minutes while the client ate. The client and I then completed 10 skill acquisition targets. The client engaged in 4 instances of the target behavior today. The client informed me that they felt tired most of the day. Is there anything you would change? Think about what we want in a session note. In our session notes, we want to be objective, we want to be complete, we want to talk about targets we worked on, what we mastered, and any behaviors of note. And in your session note is the opportunity to also record anything that seems potentially relevant or interesting or significant that occurred. So this note, the RBT or whoever took this note said the client greeted them. They talked with stakeholders for 5 to 10 minutes. They completed 10 targets, and there are 4 instances of target behavior today. The client then said they felt tired. It's very straightforward, very objective, very relevant. I see nothing wrong with this note in particular. Is there anything you would change? A, the technician should not spend that much time talking with stakeholders. Well, that's just not true. You need to establish rapport with stakeholders. You need to have a good relationship with stakeholders or as good as possible. And catching up with stakeholders at the beginning of session or at the end of session is a great way to stay informed and to keep them informed. So A is out. B, the technician should not include the client greeting her at the door and only include targets in the treatment plan. Well, no, that seems relevant that the client greeted them when they arrived at the house. It's always important to know how beginning of session goes and targets of what, right? Only targets in the treatment plan. What does that mean exactly? B is unclear. And also, there's nothing wrong with including client greeted them at the door. That's objective. It's what happened. C, the technician should not include that the client reported that they were tired. Well, that could be potentially something to keep an eye on. If it's always happening every session, there may be a medical issue. The client may be satiating on some of the reinforcers. There could be something going on. That kind of thing, as long as you're not adding your own subjective opinion to it, the client informing them that they're tired is very objective. There's nothing wrong with including that in the session note. And then D, there's nothing significantly incorrect about the session note. Yeah, there's really nothing glaring at all. It's objective, it's clear, pretty complete. Could you add to it? Maybe, but on the surface, there's really nothing significantly wrong with what was written. A maid service is conducting a training to improve the consistency of how beds are made by their employees. Whenever an employee makes a bed incorrectly during training, the lead trainer shows them a video on the proper way to make the bed, and then the employee tries again. What type of prompt is used here? But think about the type of prompting going on, right? The prompt happens right before the response, and the response of interest is making the bed. So whenever the employee makes the bed incorrectly, the lead trainer shows them a video on the proper way to make the bed. So they say make the bed, they show them the video, and then right after the video, the employee tries again. So what is the employee doing? Well, they're imitating what they saw in the video. And when somebody imitates, what are they imitating? Well, they're imitating a model. So what type of prompt are we using here? A, verbal. Is the video a verbal prompt? It's not. What it is a model prompt just via video. The employee watches the video. They try to imitate the model of making the bed the proper way. Gestural is a motor movement encouraging the correct response. There are no gestures being used here. There's just a video of the full bed making procedure. The model, when you model prompt, you were demonstrating the exact behavior you want to see. That is what a model is, and that's what the video is. And then positional. Positional means we've changed the stimulus of interest, the where it's located or where it sits, not occurring here. This is the response prompt. It's acting on the response of the maid who's watching the model and then imitating the model. More of a tricky prompt question. So if you got that right, excellent work. If not, no worries. Go back, review the study guide, come back and try again. Hugo learned how to ask for a snack appropriately, but now asks for snacks throughout the day. Hugo, during an 8-hour period, will ask for 16 snacks, which is way too often. At what rate does Hugo ask for snacks? So we have a rate question. How do we find rate? Well, we need a frequency and we need a time. And rate is that frequency over that time. So we have Hugo, who's asking for snacks throughout the day during an 8-hour period. So here is our time. And he asks 16 times as our frequency. Now, what do? We put 16 frequency over 8, our time, and we get 2 snacks per hour. And A is exactly what we're looking for. It isn't 1 snack per hour because that doesn't work out. 2 snacks per 8 hours, again, does not work out. Neither does 16 snacks per hour. It's a simple ratio problem. We have 16 over 8, which reduces down to 2 snacks per hour. Rate is very straightforward. It's simply frequency over time. It is hypothesized that your new client's behavior occurs in order to obtain a tangible. When making a list of different possible tangibles, which of the following would you not include on your list? Let's think about what are we talking about when we say the client's behavior occurs to obtain a tangible? Because you need to make a list of tangibles, and you're not going to include one of these on your list, meaning 3 of these will be on your list. What is a tangible? A tangible is a stimulus or an item that you can physically hold, you can touch, you can manipulate. Tangible is one of our functions. When a behavior functions to gain a tangible, the behavior is occurring to get an item, to get something. If you hypothesize your client's behaviors for a tangible and you're making this list, what should you not include? A toy truck. Could you include a toy truck on a list of tangibles? Sure. You can manipulate the toy truck, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can hold it. What about B, a mother's voice? A mother's voice is not tangible. You can't hold on to it, you can't manipulate it. A mother's voice would be much more related to attention. What about C, a plate of cookies? Well, you can obviously hold a plate of cookies. You can eat cookies. You can touch cookies. You can feel cookies. A plate of cookies is a tangible. And then D, a video game. Of course, you can manipulate, hold, touch a video game. What you wouldn't include on a list of possible tangibles is B, a mother's voice. It's kind of a different approach to a function question, but we want to just always be expanding our understanding of each term. And the only way to do that is to look at it from different angles. And so when we talk about tangibles, you have to be careful you don't include attention in there. Attention and tangibles are 2 very separate and different functions. Thank you for watching. Check out btexamreview.com. Please subscribe if you haven't already for all of our video updates. Let us know when you pass so we can include you in the Sunday shout out. Work hard, study hard. We'll see you soon.